So, what do we do today, friends? Well, I figured since this is the first time in like 30 sketches where it's not just about you, Sunset and Fluttershy, and your fucking romance arts, I thought it was time the rest of us got to shine again.
And what did you have in mind?
I was thinking video games. We never really did follow up on that.
Video games? Are you kidding me? And where exactly did you imagine the four of us were gonna shine there? Did you honest to God forget that the only people here who are actually recorded to be gamers are Fluttershy, Sunset Shimmer, and, you guessed it, Twilight?
Oh. Yeah, okay, not my best idea. But the hell with it, let's get it over with so Robotus can finally scratch that.
Yeah, sure, why not? So, what kind of games y'all were thinking, Dash?
I don't know, is there anything of note that came out recently?
By recently, do you mean at the time of this upload or back in December when the script was written?
What do I know, just 2024 in general.
Oh, well in that case I think there's one that can't go unmentioned for this year. Shadow of the Earth Tree, the Elden Ring DLC. Should I just take over here?
Be my guest, Sunset, I don't care.
Okay. Well, I can definitely say it was well worth the $40 it cost me. I absolutely got my money's worth. Though on the other side, I can understand the criticism some people had with it. The scatter tree system was weird and unintuitive to say the least, with many fragments just being at totally random places, and some bosses really felt like a bad joke. Looking at you, Senesax.
Oh yes, Elden Ring. What a game. Did you know I recently tried Elden Ring again after my enormous L-take back in 22? This time around I actually gave it a fair shot and finished it.
Wow, really? You beat Elden Ring.
Sure did.
Nice. And what build did you go for?
Well, I started off as a samurai and then
Never mind, you're one of those.
Those who?
A bleed abuser.
Yeah, so what? Alright, if you're gonna be a bitch about my build, then let me give you something else to lose your mind over. You wanna know how I played through Elden Ring? Well, first off, after arriving in Limgrave, I went straight to Stormvale Castle and got Torrent. And then I rode all the way over to Caelid, and you know what I did then? I killed Grail. And all of her runes I put in Vigor. And after that, I returned to Limgrave and got on with the game.
Oh my fucking god, are you serious? And you really would have claimed that you beat Elden Ring by cheating like that? It's part of the experience to die over and over again, to really have to learn the movesets and not just be able to brute force boss fights and tag everything.
Hey, it's not just about tanking hits, it's about reducing stress by being able to learn a boss without constant respawning in between.
But the stress is part of the deal. It's one more aspect that you need to manage. It's about discipline and overcoming.
I did overcome, in a way. My hurdle wasn't as big as yours, sure, but I'm not interested in dick measuring, so why does it matter?
It matters because you cheated.
Did I? Did I use a mod to alter the game's parameters? Did I glitch myself through a wall to reach Grail? Did I use any other kind of exploit the game didn't allow me to use outright? No. I might as well have spent 20 hours farming normal enemies in Limgrave, and the end result would have been the same. This way was just way quicker. I mean, we could argue that I cheated myself because I made it easier for me, but I'm not in it for the challenge, I'm in it for the fun. And by the way, my method only really eased it in the beginning, because you should know, Sunset, that in the endgame, Vigor doesn't mean that much anymore. By that time, I had gotten myself used to the controls and timings.
All right. I suppose if you put it like that, it's not really cheating. It's not the way I would ever play a Souls game, but it's new to you, I guess.
Thank you. I had actually gotten pretty good by the end of it. I defeated Radagon and the Elden Beast on my 5th attempt.
Wow, 5 tries. Not bad, Fluttershy, I have to say.
Thanks. But the true MVP was my mimic tier. It took most of the hits for me.
Wait, what was that? So you want to tell me that on top of all that, you also summoned?
In every boss fight, yes?
You what?
Yeah. As soon as I saw a health bar, the bell was already rung. I only did that for bosses, however. I never once summoned anything outside of bosses.
Oh my fucking god! The Vega was one thing, but summoning? That doesn't count! You didn't even defeat the boss yourself! You really did cheat!
Oh yeah, how dare I use a mechanic the game gave to me? Do I have to call Staley Cunters and have him beat you up for you to understand the metaphor? It doesn't matter how I get the origins up to my apartment, only that they get there.
It's frightening what a fitting comparison that is.
All right, forget it. Since apparently I'm the only one who played Elden Ring the right way, it's no use to keep discussing it with you.
Wait a minute, weren't you supposed to talk about the DLC?
Yeah, well, not anymore. You can thank Fluttershy for that. So what's next?
I would like to bring something up, though it's not a release from 24. Still, it's one of my favorite recent games.
Oh, sure, Pinky. It'd be a nice change to hear someone else talking this sketch. So what is it?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yes, I heard about that. The scourge of the gaming market, whose atrocious devs dare to put the rest of game studios to shame with their audacity of releasing a finished game.
Well, actually, there are things that should be criticized about it, at least when it first released. The third act, for example, felt a bit unfinished and rushed, and the overall experience was way better in the beginning portion of the game. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing game, a 9 out of 10, but I did have some issues with it.
Like, for example?
Well, I did a Dark Urge run as a dwarf monk and got the ball ending.
Gee, really? But isn't that, like, the bad ending?
I think by now they released an even worse ending, but at the time I finished it, yeah. I mean, didn't you listen? I was playing Dark Urge. I told the goblins to split themselves open and smile while doing so. And I handed that cleric Isabel over to Catherake and sacrificed the people of Last Light into the Shadow Curse.
Jesus, Pinky, what the fuck? Why the hell would you do something like that?
Okay, how often do I need to repeat Evil Run?
Yeah, sure, but it's still. Why?
Simply put, because I could. Isn't that the purpose of escapism? Getting to do things you normally would never do? Although there is one thing about that where I gotta apply some criticism. The Dark Urge actually feels less like an urge and more like a dark suggestion. Except for that one camp scene, those who played it know what I'm talking about. There's never really a feeling like the darkness is actually taking you over. At any point, I could have just said, well, I just massacred this whole village of innocent people, but this one person I feel like showing mercy and giving them enough gold to rebuild their life. You know what I mean? It feels totally bipolar. In general, I got the feeling that playing an evil character wasn't being rewarded at all.
Wow, it's almost like doing bad things causes bad things to happen. Just like in real life.
However, my biggest gripe with the Dark Urge was that it sometimes felt totally stupid. I mean, it's not called Dumb Urge, so why the fuck would you waste time kicking a squirrel? Being evil doesn't mean you have to use every opportunity you can get to be a piece of shit. Although, I guess it is representative of a majority of real D&D players. They also don't know that difference.
Okay, well, Dark Urge or not, let's get back to what actually matters about the game. Who did you romance and why was it Mithara?
Romance? Well, I didn't romance anyone. I'm asexual.
So? Didn't you just talk about escapism and doing things you normally wouldn't do?
Only if I want to. But that doesn't mean I have to do everything I normally wouldn't.
Oh, I see. So you want to force goblins to kill themselves?
Okay, alright. If I have to pick one, I'd say I'd go for Gale.
Gale, are you kidding me? You're such a fucking contrarian. Nobody fucking likes Gale.
Well, I for one kinda do. I mean, he had some charm to him in his antics. He had magic, which meant he was by default more useful than any melee fighter. And he looks like Alexios from AC Odyssey.
What?
Please, Pinky, he doesn't look like Alexios. Oh! Now that you mention it, I kinda see it too.
Okay, then that was Baldur's Gate. Twilight, anything you can contribute?
Nah, not really. I was planning to keep my old shtick and complain about Ghost of Tsushima still not being released for PC. But lo and behold, it eventually came. And, well, there's not much to be said about that. It's an amazing game and a perfect port on my end. I'm thoroughly happy with it. Now I just gotta wait for that Spider-Man 2 port.
Man, you're insatiable, Twilight.
Guys, I think you're all missing the most important thing about this gaming talk. I mean, it's nice that you all had a good year with games and stuff, but it isn't like us here at Robotus to be so positive. Come on, where's our spite, our vitriol? There's been a heap of shit games that came out. Let's make fun of those. Well, I guess we could. Concord, am I right?
And Veilgod, who the fuck wrote that dialogue?
Wait, I got one more. The Star Wars Outlaws, the hell are those takedowns? Are you kidding me? What, their helms made of plastic?
Yes, there have been some pretty not-so-good games this year. But if you remember, at the end of 23, we had games like Gollum, King Kong, and The Day Before, which was basically just a scam. Compared with those, all the ones you mentioned were nearly as bad.
Maybe, but are we really supposed to celebrate them for instead of being complete shit, they're only slightly covered in shit? Why can't we have games anymore that have no shit to them? That's generally something I really despise, all this new scum, the youth, who by now grew up with modern games and don't even know it used to be so much better.
No argument there, but it is what it is. What I meant was, instead of wasting time with all the bad releases, how about we focus on the games that were actually good? Which there were also plenty in 2024. You know what, I think you're right. All in all, this year of gaming wasn't as bad. We're all gonna be eating our words either way come February when AC Shadows releases it turns out to be a quintuple A game.
Apropos, didn't Skull and Bones also release in 24?
Okay, never mind, this gaming year sucked.